How can we develop the national advocacy and influencing agenda for the Giving for Change program? This is a critical question that the Giving for Change partners reflected on during the interviews that were conducted on the sidelines of the Giving for Change National Advocacy and Influencing Workshop that was hosted by Africa Philanthropy Network in South Africa. Good afternoon. May you kindly introduce yourself and the organization that you're representing?
Good afternoon, Tarisai. My name is Sarah Pacutho. I work for the Uganda National UNNGOF Forum in Uganda.
And what sort of work do you do in Uganda?
Well, the Uganda National NGO Forum is a platform for NGOs in the country, which simply means that we work to bring all types of society organizations together, of course, to push for the development of the country. We are also a membership organization with over 700 members across the country and of different types. So we try to work with anyone who believes in the same values that we do. And for us, the citizen central, so anything that is citizen-centered, we will work with that person.
And specifically coming to the Giving for Change program, I believe you call it differently. What does that look like in your context, and what exactly have you been doing in terms of the implementation part of it?
Okay, so in Uganda, we call the Giving for Change program the Philanthropy for Development, and it is simply because of the power of language. When you use the word change in Uganda, you raise a lot of questions, but we decided to have an option that went straight to the point, which is philanthropy for development. We want people to give towards the development of their country. And so it was easier to put it in that context and not raise unnecessary questions.
Yeah. And what are some of the issues that you are dealing with when it comes to national advocacy and influencing?
So I think one of the bigger problems in Uganda is the issue of corruption. Corruption is so widespread that when you try and ask people to give money towards certain causes, if for some reason they feel that this is something government should be doing, nobody will pick from their pockets to give. Giving Uganda is diverse. We give to weddings, to funerals, to baptisms, to all manner of social issues, but they have to be people close to our family. The most common, I think, is burials and people that need to take treatment from foreign countries and things like that. So when you ask people to give and they believe that this is a concern that is for government, it will be very hard for them to put it through because, the elites will tell you, we pay taxes. These are things that should happen. The people in the regions will say, no, but that is government's work. That's why I voted for my MP. So asking people to take from their pockets to do what they think is a government issue is a problem. But also with the effects of COVID, giving has been impacted. People would like to give, but there's less to give. Right? And if they're giving to an entity that they do not trust, then they're not sure that with all the widespread corruption, their money will go to good use. So it's better to just sit and watch and wait and see and then help and solve the small problems around your home. So actually getting these actions to shift to the development lens and say, look, we can actually use this giving in a way that impacts the country as a whole is actually a huge challenge for us.
Yeah, and coming out of this week's workshop where we have been emphasizing how do we really promote an enabling environment for philanthropy to thrive, what are some of your key takeaways?
So I think the one for me is that there's nothing that is impossible. That's a key takeaway. I think we just need to learn from each other, and the fact that this is going on in 13 countries for me is a bonus because there's nothing new under the sun. And so the linking and learning cannot be overemphasized. I've learned while I've been here that actually it doesn't have to be either or. We don't have to look at each other in terms of the different groupings. We can all just be people working towards development. And I've said this before, that sometimes when we try to look at the different groupings, we lose sight of the fact that what we want ultimately is to change, to have some social change. So I've more or less felt less alone, because sometimes the struggle is quite lonely, but sharing with everyone here is that, there is actually change. You just have to change the metrics on how you measure your impact. You have to be willing to redefine what success is. And remember, we are dealing with mindset change. Mindset change is not going to be just like that. It's something that you have to take time, intentionally study, go back to the people you're dealing with, deal with values and emotions. And for me, whereas that is challenging, I think that is the fabric of human beings, that you have to actually deal with these emotions at that level.
Thank you very much, Sarah. And at this stage, I'm really tempted to use our Shona phrase where we say, "Rume rimwe harikombe chura," meaning that it's not one person that can encircle and end hell. And I love the diversity of the Giving for Change program, where we have different voices. So yes, these were perspectives all the way from Uganda, from Sarah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.